Yeah.
All right.
Look at these late, right at the buzzer ass mofos.
I know.
That was some
Oh, there's the countdown.
as the intro is playing, these guys show up.
I was about to do my Chris Jericho influence, but I couldn't get it set up on time. Had fireworks and everything. Couldn't do it.
Oh my god. I've always wanted to, like, anytime you watch wrestling, you kind of get this sense of like that intro would be fun to do. Just kind of walk into the explosions and the energy and all the insanity of it. And I'm like,
which one would you want to do if you had to pick one that has that level of energy you're looking for? And then I'll tell you which ones I think are the coolest, and then which one I would have loved to be the first one to come in on.
I feel like back in the day, Macho Man would have been one of the best ones to come in on.
Okay.
And I really liked Ultimate Warrior, because remember, I didn't watch wrestling like, you know, Triple H, Stone Cold. I petered off around that generation of wrestling. So
the Riot. Sorry.
Yeah.
What's it called? Is it not Raw? Attitude Era.
Attitude Era. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I tapered off around the Attitude Era.
I kind of did too. I lasted a little longer than most. I lasted through the whole WCW, NWO integration, like that whole from that side.
Yeah, that's where I was like, this is fun. Yeah.
This is like fun.
And then I was like, I'm out.
I think my favorite to this day, I can't get over The Rock. Like, just the setting, the placement of the intro, the way the beat comes in, it's like perfect, man.
Which version?
The second. If you smell,
okay,
Rock is cooking.
But the first, the dropout.
I didn't like the third. I didn't like the version.
The third is overdone. It's too many rolls.
If you smell, la, 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 la. I didn't like that one very much. But the one that I think, or that I wish I was the first one to use, is Kane's first official entrance into the WWF.
And then, like, when he like drops his hand,
man. I was like, what?
Good choice.
I feel
genuinely terrified of the guy too at a certain point.
For me, I think it'd be two. It'd be either the Stone Cold, just because the second the glass shatters,
it's
everyone loves you.
Like, if we want to talk about energy, it's Stone Cold and then The Rock, energy wise.
Yeah.
Which version?
Stone Cold?
Which version? The Disturbed version or the original?
No, original.
No, original.
Original wasn't mixed very well.
What?
Original wasn't mixed very well at all.
Yeah, but there's something about the imperfection of the beat coming in after the glass break that works. I don't know why.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know. I don't like the Disturbed version.
I always like Sting. Sting, when he had the Metallica music, was one of my. But that's more because, like, I'm assuming I'd also be in Sting gear and doing all that.
I'm saying the reason that works is Sting's gimmick. That's the only reason his intro works. The whole
Sting with Undertaker,
the crow movement. Undertaker was good too. But his as well. It's based off of the fact that you have a certain gimmick that allows you to like get away with that type of an intro. Yes. Okay, that's true. It's his image that makes it work. You're right. Yeah.
100%.
Took me a while, but I accepted Cena's is a pretty good intro too.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, Cena did have a good intro. Yeah, that's true.
You know who produced that?
Yeah, Bumpy Knuckles.
Huh?
Bumpy Knuckles. Didn't he?
No, I can't hear you. Who?
Bumpy Knuckles produced that.
No, man. Jake won.
What? Really?
Yeah. I just found that out not too long ago. Jake One produced the intro that John Cena uses today.
That is wild.
This is a guy who produced like what was that G Unit single?
101?
No shit.
Or no, he didn't do window shopping. What the hell did Jake One do? It was a good one too.
He had a full van music.
What's
his album? I'm trying to remember the album because I really
better ask somebody.
If you don't know who I be, you better ask somebody about me.
That's a great one, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I was surprised when I heard that. I was like, that's such an obscure production.
What'd you say, Brian?
And he has a whole album with Freeway, right? He has a whole album with Freeway.
Yeah, long time ago.
Yeah.
My personal, I would like to. Oh, sorry. Oh, if I
go ahead.
All right, I'm going ahead. My personal favorites, and you guys aren't going to remember these: D-Lo Brown, Danger at Your Door, Attitude Era. Look it up.
Of course, I remember D-Lo Brown's.
Of course, like what are you talking about?
Yeah, with the record.
Yeah, I was about to do that.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. I don't want to.
Come on.
So that
sorry, Lee J. This is as far as my line goes. Lee J said, by the way, John Cena's rap album was dope. I'm sorry.
Yes, it was.
No.
It was nice. It was.
I'm not even going to give it a chance. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't want to. This is as far as I'm willing to give John Cena. Is that intro?
Wow.
Come on.
It was nice. I listened to it. It was really good. It was pretty good.
Let's move on to your favorites. Let's leave Cena out of this. We can't see him anyway.
Well, I'm actually going to say Cena is a close, but I'm not going to give that energy. I'm saying Cena is a close, and Jericho's first entrance against The Rock is the best.
Yeah. I was going to say that earlier, but the reason I don't like it is I got so sick of the lead up to Jericho. You know how many times they used the countdown and nothing happened for months? Until he finally came into the picture.
The thing is, he only used that version of the song once because they swore in it. And then after that, they changed it, and you're like, why would you do
that? DX was not bad, too.
The Run DMC version was nasty.
The worst was, I don't know if either one of you guys are going to remember. Maybe Ski might remember this, but there was once where Mr. Perfect sang a song called Rap is Crap.
Oh, that song, yes.
Because they were fighting against a group, I think, called Public Enemy at the time or whatever. And I was there, I'm like, this is the absolute
most racist thing. What do you mean? WWF is riddled with racism back in the day. Sorry. I apologize. Not racism, but they usually extend stereotypes.
Exactly.
Why are we not calling it racist? It's racist. Why?
They didn't know any better. That's why I'm saying.
Okay. That. Yeah. Sure.
Hey, they get a pass. That's the only hillbilly thing that does.
Oh my god, it's so bad. Like, when I was watching it, I was like, "This is wrong on so many levels."
For me, they don't get a pass. Vince McMahon and his racist ass mentalities and the things that he's done that people have called out as racist are racist.
He once said in front of Booker T on live television the N-word.
Oh yeah. I was watching that live.
So was I.
Yeah.
And in his
so was I, but I just like,
that's all good, my nigga. It sounded so awkward coming out of his mouth too. You could tell it was such an improvised.
And moment. Then like you see Booker T's reaction, like genuine, like
what do you?
What? That was a play.
That
was a play on their
actual thing.
Wait, what?
He played off of his gimmick to deal with it, you know.
Yeah, but I think that was just a play on back in the day when Booker T actually called Vince McMahon like in a promo cut. Do you remember that? Booker T using the N-word.
Oh, in Harlem Heat.
Yeah.
He did it.
Yeah. So that was them I don't know whose idea it was to bring to do a callback to that moment specifically, but that's exactly what that was.
Like which writer is in the room and is just like, okay, here's a thought. What if Vince says the N-word and all the other writers are just like, good idea. Like who
Vince
comes up with that
to do it?
To be honest, the sad thing is it's Vince. Vince would have okayed that.
Thank you, Dave.
Exactly.
Yeah. Vince makes anything that goes on TV technically go, especially at that time, goes through his eyes first every single time.
100%. I was actually
Jay Grizz, we're talking about how racist WWE is.
Now that's where we're at, but that's not what we're talking about.
We're talking racist.
I just like the fact that that's where it went. Like we started doing the show, and immediately WWE turned into a conversation about race.
Vince McMahon, speaking of intro, his intro was pretty good too, though.
No chance? Oh, yeah.
When he started wrestling, that was dope. Shane's
Counter. Shane.
Pretty beefed.
Shane was okay. She was okay.
Here comes the money. Fire. What do you mean? Here comes the money.
It took me a while to buy Shane as a wrestler. And then once he started doing those freaking stunts and putting his body on the line, I was like, all right, you got my respect.
He got Naughty by Nature to sing his track. He wins.
I don't know about that. But if that's the criteria, sure.
What do you mean? That's stretch. Like, what do you mean you don't know? What? That's Naughty by Nature.
I'll say it's impressive. I don't know if you just win by default.
That's
but
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, in terms of The Rock screaming on the microphone, John Cena rapping his own shit and never changing throughout his entire course of a career, or mini kind of Republican Shane McMahon getting Naughty by Nature to rap your song. Who wins?
Okay.
Again, the energy of the track dictates who wins, and that's the only thing I'm going by. I don't care who did. I don't care who did your intro. I respect Tretch. Tretch is a wicked rapper. I respect Tretch. I just don't respect the move. But anyway,
yeah, like if you're a blatant racist, then you get a black rapper to rap on a track for you. That doesn't mean that you're less racist. We just have to start questioning the black rapper who's like, you know what? Let me just think about this for a second. Is this okay? Am I happy with what I'm doing right now? So
before you question it too much, Tretch, just check your bank account.
yeah,
I'll give you 3 seconds.
He checks it. All right, fine. I'm doing it, my nigga.
yeah. Money talks so fucking loud.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great. Do we have a 2021 dog? Or are we still working off this 2020 dog?
No, we got it. We got 21.
Do we?
We're working with 21.
Damn, I'm behind the times.
Yeah.
Share that with me.
Real quick to everybody right now, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, if you are seeing the title, you're probably wondering why it says number 232. Was it a year or more than a year ago where Skinny? So we used to number the episodes, the number for the year we were in. And at one point, Skinny hits me up and he's just like, hey, man, we might need to change this numbering system because niggas don't know we out here doing this on the daily for a good couple years. And we got episodes. And I was just like, at the time, I was like, you know what? That's fair. Let's put the season in front of the number so people know, okay, we're at least at season 5, episode 40 something. So it's just like, oh, these guys have been doing it for a minute. And then when I was looking at it again, I realized we are at 231 episodes at the end of last year. And I was just like, yeah, I feel like we need people to know that we've been doing this way longer. Like we didn't just season 5, episode 45 sounds impressive. But when you hear 231 episodes and we're going into 232, then you start to realize like, oh, this is a legit podcast that's been doing it serious. So
you guys don't understand when rappers say we started in the mud or dude, we started doing this on the phone. on the phone and a radio station.
And we're talking about a phone, not like a phone plugged into the board. It used to be a mic over the speakerphone. That's the first incarnation of how we used to get Tobi into the conversation.
And then just think about travel into the studio like once or twice a year. Yeah. Radio station. Holy smokes. That was it's crazy how far we've come technology wise doing this.
Yo,
the pandemic kind of made us do this too, right?
Yeah. Agreed.
It's crazy. I like it. I mean, I miss having you guys in like this room has been the room's done now. Like when you guys were first coming over, it wasn't completely finished. It wasn't all set up. There was still like I was like missing stuff on the bookcase behind me, you know. So I am looking forward to when you guys can come back and be actually in the room so that we can have the wider shot and show everything. But in the meantime, I'm down with doing it this way, you know. And also it's just kind of crazy to think like we're still not at our offices. We're still dealing with everything. The year's been nuts.
At least for one more month.
Dude, I've been in the same square box since last February, dude. Just a year. I've been in this room from 8, 9 till 6 every day.
Yeah. It's nuts. And it weighs on you. Like I was trying to explain. So there was a thing with at work where I was gonna have to call a client, and the client has been let's just say not as polite as they could be with me. and I was just not interested in having the conversation with them because I was just kind of tired of talking to the client.
Yeah.
And at one point I realized I was like talking to one of my friends and I was just like, you know what it is? It's not that I don't want to talk to the client. It's the fact that I don't want to talk to the client here. It was one thing when I spoke to a client on the phone in my, like at work, in an office or in a conference room, and had the conversation with them and then walked away, came home, decompressed, separated myself from the space. It's another thing where everything you do is in the same space, and those interactions, the stress, the annoyance, the discomfort, all of it is in one space.
It affects the rest of your day and interactions, especially if you have a significant other in the house. Like that breakup in the day of leaving your desk and walking to someone else's office or desk or going outside for a break, or like you had that liberty. Whereas even now, around, like I live in quote unquote the suburbs, there's nothing around here. If I wanted, I can go for a walk, but it's not the same. Like I'm not seeing people at all because there's no one out anyway. Like it's this weird,
So that's why I needed that. Like, no, I was just saying, like I needed, like I kind of miss going to the office specifically for the commute and the separation with the commute, because I kind of need that separation sometimes.
100%. You never know what you have till it's gone, and unfortunately for me, I used to work from home quite a bit before this. So for me, this is like overkill. I have some friends who never work from home, and like for them, this is like, oh my, it's novel. It's a novelty to them now, right?
Yeah.
But I think that novelty will wear off very soon. They don't understand. I like the option. Like
we're almost at a year, man.
Yeah.
We're almost
we're a year. For me, I'm a year literally a week before my birthday.
That's insane. It's insane.
I was sent home, and then when I was sent home, I was like, oh sweet, I'm home, but no one can come over and I can't do anything. Cancel everything. Like I was like, it was horrible.
You might have to start taking your cat for a walk at this point.
I swear.
Put dog ears and like
I swear. I would immediately, any pet I had, if I had a bird, a parrot, it's going on a walk with me after 8 p.m. It's a pet.
You imagine the parrot on the leash?
Just flying above your head.
Did you hear there was a couple where a girl and a guy...
Dave. I'm not talking about that. They don't get no shine. That is some next level stupidity. And
right?
No.
I feel like people aren't knowing what we're talking about. That's an injustice.
No. If people want to look it up, look up weird stories in Montreal curfew. That's it. But I'm not talking.
There you go.
They get no respect or shine on my platform.
The only thing I'll say is I'm surprised that they weren't further penalized for legit trying to manipulate the law.
I think that is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen.
I literally went to the source and I was like, is it the source like legit? And I'm like, it's a legit source. I can't believe this happened.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Let's go on to other things. Let's talk about the things that actually matter. We unfortunately,
the private chat for me real quick.
We unfortunately lost at the end of the year one of the most significant rappers for, I would say, not just the Backpacker Kids, because I think that does a disservice. If you guys have seen the background to this episode, let's see if you guys can see it if I take my camera off.
Villain.
I'll change the background real quick. So we got, so shout outs and condolences to the family of MF Doom, who passed away on Halloween of 2020, and decided not to, the family decided not to tell the public until the end of the year. On December 31st is when it was announced, which,
boy, I love that.
Yeah, at first I was a little, I felt a moment of just like, man, I'm a little annoyed that, like, why didn't we know? But at the same time, you don't owe us the explanation.
Yeah.
It's your family, and if you wanted to grieve in peace and celebrate the person's life, I needed to understand that. I made it about myself at first as a fan, and I needed to take a step back and realize that's not a thing to do. But I'm happy.
It's also a very Doom thing to do.
Yeah.
It's a very MF Doom thing to pass away, and then you find out 2 months later.
Yeah.
MF Doom. You know what I mean? Like the absurdity is that it's So.
And I don't. I'm laughing only because I get it. Like I get the last act of his was to stay still mysterious. In death, he stayed mysterious, and that is the ultimate villain. He stays true to the character throughout his entire life, and even in his passing. And his music continues to be. I was talking to someone earlier and I was explaining to them that I feel like MF Doom is one of those rappers that no one tries to emulate, because there are certain rappers that you try and emulate because you think like, oh, yo, this rapper is pretty dope. I like their style. And you try and rap like them. And Doom is one of those people that I feel like no one could try and do it because they knew they would never do it justice. So everyone just left it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was, that's part of his legacy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Tobi, you cut out for a second. Or is it me?
No, it's Tobi.
Okay. Well, hopefully he'll be able to get back in.
I think Dave too is literally up. No, Dave's
No,
there.
Dave's there. He's just not talking. He's like,
I was being respectful because I was actually sneezing and I muted myself for a while. Because like you're like saying all these nice things and I was trying really hard not to sneeze for the majority of that time, and then I
see how it is, Dave. We're paying respects to one of our favorite rappers and you're just sneezing all over the place.
No, the opposite.
Speaking of doing inappropriate places.
Huh?
Speaking of, oh my God. No, but I mean, that's crazy. That was crazy. I think hopefully Tobi's back. I see him moving. It looks like he's reading something. So I'm hoping that he's not delayed. Is this what it feels like when it happens to me?
Yes.
Oh man, I'm sorry, guys. I
was wondering if we should mention that, but like, happy you did.
Exactly what it's like. No. And we try to like hold you up and like catch your conversation when you're responding, like 2 minutes or 30-second delay. And we're like, yeah, no.
One of the things that I think this transition, one of the things about the Doom thing is Doom always considered himself a villain and loved playing the villain, and took the name Doom specifically from Dr. Victor Von Doom. He went under the name. One of his other aliases was Victor Von.
Yep.
And it just makes me think about the villains and the heroes or the anti-heroes in Marvel, and that's why I put the conversation about Punisher, because I wanted to have the conversation about Punisher and his logo being appropriated by villains, and what you guys think or what you guys feel about that. Because it's one thing for MF Doom to nod to Doom and, if anything, make the legacy of Doom even better by being one of the most amazing rappers. It's another thing for a bunch of, let's say, jackasses to run around with the Punisher logo, some of them law enforcement, and be out there talking all that crap and shit, but supporting domestic terrorism.
I think that's fucked up, and I think that's anyone would have used any type of logo. Just the Punisher logo so happens to look cool.
Yeah,
I don't think Marvel should retire it, because it's not like they're supporting anything. That the character was theirs first, and at the same time, like, that's like saying like if they used a swashbuckler, like a pirate type shirt or something, like if Disney wouldn't make Pirates of the Caribbean anymore or something. That doesn't make any sense.
Interesting.
Yes, makes sense.
Okay, like the Cross and Bones logo. Because like if Punisher's logo was literally just and I know there's a specific name for that logo, the like pirate Cross and Bones, but whatever it's called, I don't remember right now.
I think it's called Cross and Bones.
No, there's like another something Jack, the Skull and Bones.
Don't segue. Don't do it. Go bring back.
But the I think that at the end of the day, for me, it's weird to see Marvel even considering this, because they don't owe it to anybody to consider this. Marvel has used the logo, has the character, and has been doing this for years. People are going to appropriate. Once I sell something, I can't control how people use it. And it's unfortunate, but that's just what it is. And if I sell something and a bunch of idiots start using it for the wrong reasons, I can just tell them to stop using it. But if they keep using it, there's nothing else I can do. But what I can do is keep my character as loyal to what the original character is, and continue to do what they've been doing in the comic book, which is I feel they've been using Punisher to make the valid point of, like, there's one panel or a bunch of panels where he interacts with police officers who have the logo, and he makes the point of saying, like, yo, you don't seem to understand. You are not supposed to be like me. I'm doing this because I'm out for revenge. You're supposed to be protecting and serving. So if you're wearing the logo of vengeance, these people aren't going to trust you. And I'm cleaning it up, because from what I remember of the panel, he beats the guy up. He beats up the cop. So
it's a tough one because at the same, you guys can hear me now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I want to say, like, this has a lot to do with cancel culture, and I kind of want to tell cancel culture to stop and take a breather for a moment. Like, aren't you guys tired of all the canceling? But the creator of Punisher, I remember last year when the whole BLM movement was happening and cops and
Jolly Roger, by the way, is the name of the logo.
His name
Jolly
is
Roger. Right. So the creator, Jerry Conway, actually came out and said that he didn't like the fact that the logo was being used as a quote unquote symbol of oppression. And he actually started a bunch of funds. And I think one of them was like, not affiliated with Marvel in any way, but he started using the skull theme, the skull logo in BLM themed content. That way, he's almost taking the power back in that sense, away from that side of things. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It's hard to say, because if it becomes something to that level, then okay, I would maybe reconsider it. I'd be like, okay, maybe this is swastika level.
But
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, appropriated that too, and
But by retiring, isn't that giving it power by retiring it? But by you keeping it as like a Marvel,
I agree with you. I feel like it would be giving them power if you had to retire it because they sully the name of the Punisher so much so that the character can't be seen without being thought of in the same context as these guys. I think that really sucks for him, because the Punisher,
and that's like going into the White House and stealing the podium. It's the same thing.
Like okay. I think that the Punisher as a character, a fictional character, represents a certain thing. And I think appropriating his image or the logo that he uses to instill fear outside in the real world is dangerous and unfortunate. And I get what Tobi's saying, that if people started seeing cops wearing that logo and they know what the Punisher stands for, that he's not an agent of mercy, but an agent of vengeance, and is going to just come at you, then you stop trusting the cops. But I think, if anything, again, that is for law enforcement and superiors to be aware of and to address, because you're responsible for the cops that you have under you. And if they're wearing a symbol that goes against what they stand for, hell, man, we saw the show, Frank's being hunted. You can't turn around and he's being hunted by the cops for the things he's doing. And then cops in the real world are going to start wearing the logo to be like, yeah, we out here. No, you're not. You are not out here like that. You are not like the Punisher. You should never want to be like the Punisher. If you don't get the sad story of the Punisher and what the Punisher represents, a broken man who's lost everything, is on his last leg, and is essentially on a suicide mission. The Punisher is actively open to dying in this plot for revenge on the world. He doesn't.
He's a war vet whose family was killed practically in front of him because of him, for the most part. And now he has PTSD and a death wish.
Yeah. And this is the logo you want to wear as a cop, or you want to wear as a patriot for your country? Do you realize what that means? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So, you know
what's funny about that, though? In the same vein, this raises an interesting conversation. Batman is probably more fucked up than the Punisher,
right?
In ways, and he's a symbol of hope in some way.
Batman.
Like, at least Frank admits it from dead ass. Like, listen, I'm crazy. like straight up.
Yeah.
Like justice and honor, and there's a coach. Shut the fuck up! Like Frank is just like, let's kill some people. Let's go. I'm down.
So you're saying one is direct and one's not direct.
Yeah. Frank will put that ass on a belt sander. Batman's all trying to break your arms and not kill you.
Yeah.
Like,
The graphic novel or the comic book?
Yeah, the graphic. Oh no, he's probably talking about that really trash movie that came out.
The graphic novel, Punisher Warzone graphic novels are badass.
That movie was bad, but it had really good scenes in it. But the graphic novel was amazing.
I feel like as Montrealers, we're biased though because we know that it was filmed in Montreal. There's a whole bunch of Montreal people in it.
I didn't know that.
Nah, whatever.
Tonally, a much better Punisher movie, but content-wise, in terms of the plot and everything, it was trash.
He looked like the Punisher, though.
Yeah. No, like I said, tonally, even aesthetically, it looked like a Punisher, felt like a Punisher movie. Just the story was trash. Complete trash. I hated after The Wire. I hated seeing McNulty everywhere.
Oh God, yeah. Even when I see him now in The Affair, I'm kind of like, get out of here, man.
McNulty. He'll forever be McNulty.
Fuck out of here, McNulty.
No, but I'll give it to Idris. Idris was able to move on from The Wire seamlessly and continues to have an amazing career. But why does McNulty just have a McNulty face? No matter where you see him, it's just like, get your McNulty looking ass out of this scene. I can't take you serious no matter where you are. Whereas Idris shows up and he's like, oh, today I'm, this guy, and in this movie I'm this guy, and this one I'm Luther, and you're just like, damn right, motherfucker, you got range from here to the end.
There's certain roles where you play a role and it fits you, but you get typecast. And then there's certain times you play a role and it fits you, and they're like, that's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like this weird, this weird line, Like Carlton is the perfect example of this.
Carlton, yeah.
Alfonso Ribeiro, amazing actor, but he played Carlton too well.
Yeah.
And then nobody can forget who. Same thing with Urkel.
Yeah, Jaleel.
Huh?
Jaleel White's trying though. He's gone on to do things as like he was in the Big
and stuff like that too.
But like even in acting, he was on the Big show on Netflix. He's the friend. That's Steve Urkel, if most people didn't realize. He was on another show with Bobby Moynihan a couple years ago. That the show with Bobby Moynihan, actually very interesting for those of you who don't know. I think it was called Me, Myself, and I. It was a show where Bobby Moynihan's character was telling the story from three perspectives: him in the past, him in the present, and him in the future. And Jaleel White played his best friend in the present. Great. It was super well done. And what's the other thing I saw Jaleel in? I can't remember. There's a third thing, but I always thought
did he just get his own show.
Oh, that I don't remember. I think he starred in something, but I don't remember I don't remember what it was. But that's another example of like how typecasting can really mess you up, though. Yeah, because
Nolte's the only one that got hit from that show.
Yeah,
I'm sure he can play a dickhead cop anywhere. Kima's cool anywhere.
Yeah.
D'Angelo. He was in The Walking Dead. Actually, half the cast was in The Walking Dead afterwards.
Huh.
Nolte's the only one that got Nolte'd.
That's true. Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan was great. After The Wire. I haven't seen Bodhi in like years, but that's okay.
Snoop.
What?
Snoop. She was a real gangster though. In the
yeah. Snoop is. Proposition Joe. I might have seen him actually. I think I did. Yes, I did. In some other related show.
What a cast.
Right?
A cast. Nolte looking ass. Anyways,
no, wait, who's the lieutenant? The lieutenant there. That like the blackest dude I've ever seen who scares me. Like, you know what I'm talking about.
Lance Reddick.
Yeah, man.
Lance Reddick.
Bad. Remember the Funny or Die thing he did?
Yeah. Yes. Yo, he's great too. He's on the Comedy Central show.
Yeah, he's in everything as like a military or a cop officer. Like he's always some kind of like CIA, military, whatever role. He's been typecast in that role because he plays that too well.
He plays a hard
actually was what's that movie with No, Fringe. Was Fringe before The Wire or after The Wire?
Before. Same
After,
time.
right?
Well, that's to the internets. Fringe on Fox came out. Oh yeah, because
2008.
Reddick is in that, right?
Yeah, he's also like the lieutenant.
Yeah,
or
it
whatever.
must be after.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be after
The
because
Wire.
I don't think. Yeah. It was after. Yeah, because I was gonna say I'm pretty sure. I forgot for a second that he was in it, but I was just like, no, I know for a fact if he was on it, it was after. And I remember thinking when I saw him, I was like, oh, yo, this is dope to see him again doing such an amazing job. Because like you said, it's true. The man can act circles around anybody. And it's funny, but we joke, but he's black as the night is long. Like the man is dark, and it's kind of fun to see people that dark. No, but you know what? You know what I'm saying? Like when you're
No, I do know what you're saying. Just coming from anyone else, I would have questioned that statement more. But I was like, you know what? Passes, I guess.
That's a weird pass. He's so black. What?
Think about it this way: when it comes to television, how many actors? I'm not going to go down the history. But you do know the brown bag test, right?
Yes. We saw that in that one episode of Aziz's show.
Yeah, there you go. So for anyone who doesn't know, actors on television couldn't be darker than a brown bag if you were black or brown. So imagine once upon a time that you couldn't, like Lance Reddick was not allowed on TV because he would have been too black. And now him, Idris, and a whole slew of them are on TV repping and doing way better. Sorry?
How do you Sidney Poitier?
Well, I mean, I think it just had to do more talent.
True.
Sidney Poitier was so talented that it's just like that's the thing. Back in those days, you had to be that talented to get on the screen. If you weren't that level of talented, they didn't give you a chance. Harry Belafonte, very talented. Is he as talented as Sidney Poitier? I don't think so. I mean that with no offense. Not many people were as talented as Sidney Poitier. But that's the comment. Sidney Poitier got on because he's that talented. People who look like Harry Belafonte get on way easier because they were lighter skinned. And that's already such a crazy thing when you think about it.
Message.
Bong. For my View the Right Thing, I would love if I could play a clip because my View the Right Thing is about AOC's hour-long presentation, like hour-long live stream that she did, and I have a 2-minute clip that I think is the epitome of everything that she had to say. Would that be okay with everyone? I asked.
My pillow so I can fall asleep.
Oh shit, man!
I'm kidding. Play it.
So I'm gonna play the clip now. Hold on, I want to get back to the beginning of it.
I don't want to hear or see the Republican Party talk about blue lives ever again. This was never about safety for them. It was always a slogan. Because if they actually cared about rule of law, they would speak up when people break the law. They would speak up. They would enforce fairness and equity, but they don't give a damn about the law. They don't give a damn about order. They don't give a damn about safety. They give a damn about white supremacy. They care about preserving the social order and the mythology of whiteness than the grandeur of our democracy. That's what they care about. They lust for power more than they care about democracy. That's what those people did when they voted to overturn the results of our free and fair elections. And you can barely call them that with the amount of voter suppression that they have engaged in across the country. It is generous, to say the least, to call them that. And so with all of the rules rigged in their favor, the Electoral College is built on a compromise with slavers. The Senate is rigged in their favor. Gerrymandered districts are rigged in the Republicans' favor. This presidency and the law breaking and the pardons of people who have betrayed our country, all of it rigged in their favor, and they can't even win with the whole deck stacked with them. They can't even win with the deck stacked in their favor. And so what they are willing to do is set a match and light our entire democracy on fire so that they can uphold the social order of white supremacy. That's what this is about. Straight up.
I would just like to point out that she is outright calling them losers, and I love that shit.
Straight up.
Yo, she's calling y'all losers. She's not even like mixing words. She's calling you losers. Can you imagine? Check this out. What she's saying is you are in a race, right? You kneecap all your opponents and still come in last. You have to be some kind of a loser to do that. And that's why I loved it. Like, just listening to that clip, you realize, like, I mean, I always knew how much of a like unbalanced and unfair electoral system they had, that they really put the weight into this electoral college structure in the States that takes away from all the other opportunities and the power of a vote. Like, the vote in one state is worth 10 times more than a vote in another state. And I thought, man, that is messed up. But to then lose on top of that.
When I was watching the elections live,
losers.
And I was trying to figure out what is going on. Why does this number change and that one doesn't? And why all of a sudden he's up by this much and this? It's so much goddamn math. It's insane. It makes no sense. Their system makes absolutely no sense. They're trying to make sense of it live, and you can tell they don't even know what they're trying to explain to you. They're just saying what's being prompted in front of them.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. Their whole system does need to blow up, and she's right about everything is rigged a certain way for a certain kind of people. It's facts. You can look into history. It's facts. Once the, like, for example, in the South, once the slaves were free, a bunch of different states banded together under some kind of law and constitution, and it made it legal to arrest people, black people, namely black men, so that they can put them in prison and then sell them to contractors. Just a different way of slaving people, right? So the whole everything is rigged a certain way, and for some reason, I don't know if it's the majority that's not seeing it or the minority that's not. Like, I don't know where the numbers skew when it comes to like which part of the population thinks a certain way. I would literally love to see it. If it's really like they're the majority, then something needs to be done there. And if it's really like the majority is the side that's more reasonable, like us, rational in terms of equality all around, whether you're black, white, Cuban, or Asian, as long as you have the qualifications, you should get the role type situation.
Yeah.
And we are still not winning, then something needs to happen there as well.
So the reason I was telling everybody that they should watch this is because, as you guys know, there was the insurrection. The domestic terrorists went after the Capitol Hill about a week ago on some fuck shit, like dead ass, going in there. One guy was wearing full tactical gear with the cuffs, the zip cuffs, to like obviously either zip people, hog tie, kidnap. We don't know what they were trying to do. Thankfully, they were never able to do it because they didn't get to the senators. And
guard shot a woman when she tried. That was crazy.
I
saw a video of that. That was kind of disturbing.
Yeah. So and you know what's really messed up about that person? That person, I was explaining to my partner, and it's really sad to say this, but just to put it into context, we're talking about a 14-year veteran in the special services in the Air Force. And I was explaining to my partner, have you guys seen the movie Lord of War?
Yeah.
So in Lord of War, they have this whole thing about how like every bullet has a name on it, right? Mm-hmm. And for a soldier to serve overseas in enemy territory and not die, but the bullet with your name on it is one that was meant to protect the capital against invaders, and that's what kills you, is messed up. Just think about that. The bullet that had your name was not one made by your enemy, or it was made to stop your enemy, and it killed you. That, to me, when I realized that, when I thought of like Lord of War, and when I thought about the meaning of that and how you served years in the military. You were overseas. You served your country. You stood for what the country stood. You stood to defend what the country stands for. And the bullet that kills you is one that was meant to protect from a foreign enemy trying to break in, or an aggressive enemy trying to break into the Capitol. That shit's fucked up, man. It's messed up. And that's why, like, when you listen to AOC's hour-long live stream that she did, I would say it's about 50 minutes of her talking and explaining points about what happened, and then another 10, 15 minutes of her, like, answering questions. I know some people are probably burnt out on some of this stuff, but if you are able to, I would honestly say to watch it. The video has a lot of important information. She touches on a lot of stuff. She explains what it was like being in there. She explains the kind of, like, it's kind of messed up, man. Like, you hear about how there were, like, some Capitol Hill police officers taking pictures, but then you had some of the black ones being threatened. Like, there's so much happened. And it's so sad that this happened. But it happened because of the state of things in the States right now.
It needed to happen.
Say what? Sorry?
It needed to happen.
Yeah, you know what? Unfortunately, I have to agree with you. I think that there was just like, there was a boiling point, and the kettle whistled. Like, it needed a release. But it's sad that 5 people had to die for it, and one suicide. Like, one of the Capitol Hill cops afterwards committed suicide, and one of the cops committed suicide. And I'm no matter what, even if I don't agree with what you were doing, I don't wish death on anyone. So I'm sad that those people died. I'm sad that woman died from a bullet that was meant for an enemy. Because, I don't think at any point when she served her country, she would ever thought of herself as an enemy. And it's messed up, because I think it's really messed up that they did this. I don't believe in what they did. I do believe that they are domestic terrorists. I do believe the insurrection was in bad taste and completely wrong. And the scary part is, I think they truly believed, at least some of them. I don't think all of them. I think some of them just did it for the clout and did it for the gram, which is messed up in itself. Some of them did it for the gram. And we need, like, when we say we need to get rid of cancel culture, we also need to get rid of doing clout it for the gram. Culture. Yeah, clout culture. Because
there were people taking selfies all the time. Anyways.
If clout culture is bad enough to make you break crazy amounts of laws and not think about the fact that you are putting yourself on camera, breaking all these laws, and then you don't think something's going to happen to you, I don't know what to say. You are one of the dumbest people in the world, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
So when they start pulling you off of planes because you're on a no-fly list, and they start and this dumb president created something he hoped would affect Black Lives Matters, who are taking down the statues, and like wrote in that now defacing federal property and defacing federal buildings can result in 10 years in prison. And now you guys who are his supporters, because of that law that he wrote in, might get 10 years because you defaced a federal building.
Are they? I think I saw articles about them getting arrested, right?
Sorry?
I think I saw articles about some of them getting arrested, right?
Lots of them getting arrested.
I just love Brian's laughing at them.
I'm sorry. Can you imagine you support this man and something he wrote is what puts you in jail for 10 years, and you're just sitting there like, damn it. Like, I mean,
you're sitting there like Newman. That's what you're sitting there saying, man. Like, oh man.
Oh my God. I don't wish prison on people, but man, y'all gonna have a weird time in there, because like, I don't know.
They're simply just afraid of what if people of all colors banded together and stormed the Capitol. They actually are afraid. That's why they were already there, right? With the army and automatic right. They're afraid. They're genuinely afraid of.
Well, they were afraid. They were afraid last time when the Black Lives Matter movements were marching, but this time, this time they didn't even.
They're not afraid of their own people. It's that simple.
And it also was an inside job. Let's be honest. You don't get into the Capitol.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
I did see videos of some cops letting people in, but I had no context. I did see a cop opening gates and letting people in, talking to them, taking pics.
What irked me a lot was the fact that like they also had no idea what they were doing, to the extent that when they actually broke in, like, you know, when they're walking through the area and they're walking within like the red ropes. You notice that? Like when they're storming in and they're walking, like you clearly don't know what you're doing so much.
Can you imagine? You're a rioting mob and you see red ropes and you say, okay, orderly fashion as we mob into this building.
Like,
one by one, guys. Do you have your partner? Make sure you're holding their hand. You idiots are.
You know that they are the party of law and order. That's why.
Yeah.
So it's just imagine someone actually walking outside of that and they're like, yo, man, this guy's crazy. He went past that fucking thing. He's a radical. I'm just gonna go take the podium. Like,
oh my God.
It was an insane day. I was expecting it to get worse than that. I wanted it sort of to get worse, almost just to see.
I wish it would have gotten worse without losing life. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's impossible, bro.
That's why when you said, Tobi, you wish it got worse, I was like, no, we don't. I don't want it to get worse. Like,
no, but I mean,
we already lost 5. Getting worse would do what? Like, what would it serve if more than 5 people lost their lives? Do you need Americans to lose more lives to understand that these people
don't care about
the thing is, America needs a dose of their own medicine in order to actually get their shit in order, and they haven't gotten it yet. And that would have been, unfortunately, lives might have been lost, but that would have been the darkest day in white history in a long time, and that almost needs to happen.
To me, I already think it was a pretty dark day in any, like, dude.
Elaborate on that, please.
I 100% understand what you're saying. I don't want it.
In the same vein, you can't wish that on you. It's one of those, you don't wish things on your own worst enemy. But I thought if that was going to be a time, that would be it, and I'm glad it wasn't. But hopefully, we can learn from that. Hopefully, they can learn and grow from this. Yeah. But I have no faith in America.
I get what you're saying, and I get what Skinny. Skinny, go ahead, man. Skinny's dying to jump in.
I'll say this: no one can say ever now that racism doesn't exist, and that's what that needed to happen for.
Yeah.
No one can ever say again white supremacy and all that hogwash and anything about there's no lines and no kind of color basis. And no one can ever fucking say that again based on what happened on this day. This shit's marked in history. People are like, oh, 2021 is a bust. No, it's actually, this is a pretty good sign, because as Tobi, this is not the ass kicker that America it's not what we wanted the ass kicked America to get. But this is at least going to change the way shit's, like, voting is going to change. All right. Anytime Harry's not getting in office now, like, you're not going to see celebrities in office ever again for like 10 years.
Yeah, I think
Trump was only two different terms, so that's not long enough for me.
I think Trump was an overcorrection, and that's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad it didn't become the standard.
Right.
You know?
And this is to make sure it does not. This is like, okay, we're done. Like, even if we're Republican, we can't go.
Honestly, when he got elected, you knew it was a bad thing, but like, I didn't know just how bad it would get. Like, you didn't believe it would get this bad, to the point where, like, I'm calling it an overcorrection. Like, he got in, he was there. He could have done things over a stretch of time in a more sort of covert, drawn out way.
Yeah,
but he's an extremist.
Everything right away, man.
Yeah. Everything he did, I expected if he got a second. Like, everything he did in 4 years is what I would expect a bad president to have done in 8.
Yo, but the problem is he imploded in 2020 as well.
Right.
That's the crazy thing, is 2020 fucked a lot of shit up for a lot of people, including Trump. That's crazy. This virus didn't help him.
Imagine what he would have done with a second. Anyways,
honestly, it felt like he was on his way to his second term, didn't it? Before 2020, like at the beginning, you're like,
feeling
he was going to get, right?
Yeah.
Like, Tobi's 100%. had we not had the insanity and all the craziness of COVID and poorly planning and the Black Lives Matter movement and George Floyd, rest in peace, and all those things, Trump, and let's not get it twisted, he would have gotten reelected. Yeah. He would have gotten reelected.
I was expecting it. I think a bunch of us were.
Oh, he would have gotten. It's not expected. You are 100% right. If the dominoes didn't fall a certain way, he gets reelected. Because think about it. If 75 million 75 million Americans voted for him. Some 40 if he's above 40 something percent, that's too close already.
That's crazy. So, yeah, and I think like his approach to the virus and the majority of people not really liking, he was just not organized as a president. He didn't really do much for his country when it came to that and protecting his citizens.
He didn't do anything for the country.
And then it enabled like the Democrats to like use that as an angle, and then the whole BLM, everything happened all at once, and you have all these athletes for the first time in a long time. Literally every single one on TV, there's a PSA to vote, and make sure you vote Democrat. Obviously, they're asking you to vote and lean one way, even though they're not explicitly saying it. It's just like it was
especially they were just like, let's get him out. It's like, okay, so you're saying don't vote for the Republicans. Obviously, we know what you're talking about. I want to comment real quick because Mike K wrote, but nothing is going to stop from electing another celebrity because he said Trump. Yeah, I agree with Skinny. I don't think it's going to be as easy to get another celebrity into office. I think a lot of people saw past the bullshit this time. And like Skinny said, it's not never, but it's going to be a long time. Like Reagan was president in the 80s, and Reagan was a celebrity turned president. And then you had to wait like a good 20 years before it could happen again. So I think it does take time that before people forget, because that's the unfortunate part too. People forget about what the celebrity do. Like, you know, like what did the celebrity culture do and why did that person get into office? That's
Reagan was a celebrity, right?
He was an actor.
Yeah.
Really? Yes. Ronald Reagan was a popular actor who dropped down in popularity and was on the like C or D list at one point, making movies with monkeys and stuff, and then went into politics.
Yep, there you go.
Man. Actors who be like low-key, like powerful leaders in racism world, like him, Heston. Fuck, man.
Kevin Sorbo.
Motherfucker.
Oh my god. Do you guys follow anything that Hercules says these days? Hold on.
Dave, did you not know that Kevin Sorbo Hercules is a blatant racist, like right-wing conservative? Big time.
That's
just honestly, I don't want to promote this. I don't want to promote this, but if you're someone, I don't want to promote this, but if you're someone who used to like Hercules and you still somehow hold Kevin Sorbo in that role in high regard in your head, just go to his Twitter page.
Yeah,
just spend 30 seconds scrolling through the first 2 pages on his Twitter.
You know who else sucks? Dean Cain.
Dean Cain sucks you?
Dean Cain is a big time conservative. And like the thing is, when these guys talk, they say, you know, as a conservative, I have and don't get me wrong, I'll say this. As a conservative, you can be a conservative, but you don't necessarily have to be right wing and alt right.
Yeah, of course.
I understand there's a difference between conservative approach. I mean, there are unfortunate thin lines between some of the beliefs you have and some of the beliefs that are further right. But I understand that some of the beliefs you have are problematic, but some of the beliefs you have are not problematic. Not, you know, like you can't tell me that there are black conservatives who are racist. There are black conservatives who believe in what the Republican Party stood for and the politics behind the Republican Party. It's that, yeah.
I feel like I just like it was like I told kids Santa Claus didn't exist.
I know.
Right? You broke a glass that no one wanted to break.
You're a jerk. Some people's childhoods right here.
You know,
Kevin Sorbo is a jerk, but you're a jerk by default.
No, okay. His last tweet, literally, he said something crazy outrageous that Xena had to go and like respond.
Yeah, Xena had to him up.
Lucy Lawless had to put him in his place.
I'm just gonna call them by their TV show names.
You're telling me Dean Cain could have been the real?
Yeah, Superman's. Superman is not good. He like Dean Cain messed up, man. And that's it. So, a lot of these conservative actors.
Sorry, I was gonna say it's actually great though. Like we're actually seeing who these people are.
Yeah.
Right?
Wait. Are you guys ready for me to ruin another one for you?
Do it.
Sure.
You guys ready?
We're already on the train.
Christy Swanson, the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer, is a conservative.
I'm not really surprised by that. And fuck her.
There's a lot of people who like her and didn't know. Like when I told
Sarah Michelle Gellar, I don't care.
True.
I'm a fool.
True.
You mess with TV Buffy, then we're talking. You mess with Freddie Prinze, then we're talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But so there's a lot of actors out there. There, it does not shock me that there are conservative Hollywood actors that believe in the Republican Party. Less tax, less government.
What falls? Pardon my ignorance. What falls under conservative in terms of definition?
I would say a conservative is someone who believes in strong religious core. They believe in I don't necessarily think they all believe in abortion as murder, but I think that because a large percentage of them identify as Christian and think abortion as a sin, would see it that way. There are a lot of them that believe in lesser tax. They don't want as large government influence. A lot of the stuff that
what's messed up about that is you can have your beliefs all you want, and the main issue that's always been the issue is that people try to force their beliefs on others.
Yeah,
right? And that's what creates the conflicts. When instead of just accepting that you're one way, I'm one way. If you talk to me about your way and I'm like, ooh, I like your way, I want to come, that's fine. But the forcing of anti-abortion and all these things and creating these headaches, that's what the division is coming from, right?
And it's weird because they conservative parties don't. Well, I mean, not in Canada. Again, I'm talking about American. I know for anyone who's listening, I know we're talking about the States a lot, but you got to understand it's the biggest thing in the zeitgeist right now. It would be almost impossible not to address. It's one thing for us to talk about all the fun TV shows we watch that are produced by Americans, but you can't take one and leave the other. If I'm going to talk about how much I love Star Trek Discovery, I got to admit that the country that's making it has issues. You know what I mean? So I'm going to talk about this stuff. Star Trek Discovery was great, by the way. If you're looking for a show to watch, I highly recommend it.
We could do a segment called "Name That Racist Celebrity."
Yeah.
We just find a different people. Just name a list.
There's so many of them that are like Roseanne Barr.
Roseanne,
but I don't know if she's not again. That's the thing. There are categories within. That's why I wanted the definition of what you thought what conservative was, is because there are categories within, right?
Yeah.
And there are those who are super far right. There are those who push those far right conspiracies like Roseanne does. There are those who are racist, and there are those who don't like women, and there are those who are super religious and don't like people who are not it's this weird dichotomy inside the conservative, which is why I don't necessarily like the full label being put on everyone, but you kind of at the same time can avoid that, right? Because they give a bad name to your quote unquote party.
Like for example, and that's one of the reasons that some people think that there might be a division in the Republican Party at some point. Because
a bunch of them
but I mean
disagree with Trump.
They might actually divide though, a whole other party.
They should, as they should. This two-party system is BS.
But that should it's unfortunate. But what's going to happen? Let's say this. Man, we're talking so much politics, but I'll keep. What's going to happen is if they separate, and on the left, the Democrats realize that eventually the progressives and the centralist Democrats are going to have to figure something out, because the progressives who are trying, like Bernie and AOC and the crew, eventually the things that they're fighting for, they're going to get so annoyed at the centralists who are trying to keep the centralist Republicans and the centralist Democrats working together to be a larger base. They're going to get so annoyed that they're going to be like, we can't keep working with you if you're not even going to consider universal health care, if you're not going to consider educational reform, if you're not going to consider defunding of major police movements, if you're not going to consider a reduced military. Because, I mean, in 2021, why do you spend more than the next 10 countries on your military? You know why? Because you have so much debt from education. The only way most people can get an education if they're in a lower bracket is to go into the military where it's paid for. And your system is set up like that specifically so that people will join the military.
Yep.
Which, instead of taking that money and putting it into the military, take the money and put it into education, reduce the cost of education, and people don't have to serve in the military to get their educations.
If you watch enough TV, and I used to watch a lot of TV back in the day, which I don't anymore, but the amount of ads for the Army and the Navy and the cool CGI, and everybody looks like mech warriors, and they're literally advertising the Army as like a fun place to kids. It's crazy,
baby. I used to see an Army commercial and I thought it was a commercial for Exo Squad.
That's what I'm saying. Man, that's the budget. That's the budget. They have prime time, like NFL Super Bowl prime time slots. You know how much that costs?
Stupid amounts of money.
That's what I'm saying. So they literally pay so much.
Dude, and fighter jets flying over, and you make movies like Top Gun where you sell the idea of like, yo, look how cool it is. You're shirtless playing beach volleyball with your friends, and then you fly a fighter jet.
Dude.
No,
you know you're not doing that. You are not doing that. You know you're not doing that shit.
No, it is not shirtless beach volleyball. You're not going to do that. You're going to be stuck in a desert crying, wishing you could go home. They are lying to you.
How many idiots show up being like, all right, so where's the volleyball net, man?
Oh my God. Yo. But like I was saying, you know what's kind of messed up about it too, though? At the same time, I love Star Trek, but Star Trek is also just them selling the Navy.
Yeah, I can see that.
Star Trek is a series based on a military structure that of ships, and that's what the show is. And as much as it's a fun show to watch, at the end of the day, you're still selling the idea of military rank and rising in the ranks. And you're selling and that's one of the advantages. And I'm a Trekker. That's one of the advantages that Star Wars has over Star Trek, because Star Wars does not sell you. I mean, Star Wars is still technically selling you a religion because Anakin is Immaculate Conception, which is a whole other conversation. But they're selling you like Han Solo as a space pirate and Lando Calrissian. Like these guys are like
it's more outrageous. It's more it's more disconnected from reality. Which is why we don't pay those things any mind. Nobody wants to be nobody wants to be on the dark side, really. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, and nobody necessarily wants to be a Jedi. They just want to play with the lightsaber. Exactly. Right? You know what I mean? Like it's
Mike just put facts, indoctrination. That's what it is.
It's true. Yeah, from birth,
all of it.
Yep.
All of it.
It's embedded into society.
Yeah, man. I mean,
and they still treat their vets like crap. But anyway.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't even the biggest hero, and this is gonna hurt me to say it, but one of the biggest heroes in the MCU is a soldier.
Yep. Captain America.
And if you don't get why Captain America, as wonderful and awesome as a character he is watch in the comic book and in the movies, if you don't see the fact that he's also selling the dream of being a leader and a soldier and wanting to serve your country. I mean, he was written for.
I was gonna say you have to see it because go back and watch the Captain America: The First Avenger.
But like, he was written. He was written originally in the comic book to fight the Nazis. He was written for propaganda reasons.
Yep.
And that's what it is, man. Here we are.
Cool. And the kid reads that and it goes, I want to be in the army and beat up Nazis. And he joins the army, you know?
But it sucks too because I love Captain America. Captain America's a fun character. Yo, exactly. Cool. Captain America is a fun character. He has the coolest shield. He does so much cool shit. He's powerful.
What's funny about that is I think as an outsider, I remove myself from those aspects of him. And I only see him as a superhero, right?
I know. Yeah.
That's the thing. Which is crazy to think. Yeah.
That's what they don't want you to think about the fact that these characters are slowly selling you. Dude, and you guys get mad at me when I do this because I did the same thing for Big Bang Theory. But if you give me any show or any movie, I can show you the spin of what they're trying to sell you for the military or what they're trying to sell you for the police.
I'm good.
He says no, I don't want it.
Batman was working with Gotham Police Commissioner, and they were trying to explain to you that the police, it was a valiant effort, but vigilantes working with the police could be even better. And that if you can't be Batman, you could still be a police officer that serves next to one of the greatest heroes. That is literally
we saw it during these protests not too long ago.
Stop it right now. Stop it.
Oh boy.
It's
Falcon was a soldier. Bucky, soldier.
Stop it.
Black Widow.
Yeah, I think that's why I really only identified more with like the Spider-Man of the world, because everyone else was just like
Spider-Man 2. Do Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Well, okay. Do you really want me to do Spider-Man? Because
hold on.
Talk that shit.
Let me think about that for a second.
I could tell you Tony Stark, military complex. That's
movie.
Easy.
Are we talking MCU or comics? Because I'm talking more comics.
Oh, okay. In the comic book, though, he still did like his best.
Eventually, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
still.
Right.
In the comic book, he's still selling Stark weapons to his weapons. There's Armor Wars was because his weapons ended up everywhere, and it started a major problem.
Yeah.
Tony, stop making these weapons. What? I have ideas.
What?
Okay, Peter Parker. It's Peter Parker though. I will give that street level characters. I can't do it at the same level.
You can't do anything like Daredevil, Peter Parker. You can't really like pull anything.
Peter Parker has Parker Industries that is basically like a science like it's.
That's why I said eventually.
Yeah,
the Spider-Man I grew up with wasn't necessarily that, right?
Because Luke Cage, prison complex. And what was the prison complex being used for? You already explained it. Yeah. It was slave labor.
Yeah, of course.
So Jessica Jones.
But I think a lot of the times though, and I'll also in terms of the writers, I don't blame them. It's because of the time they're in, and they're trying to come up with ideas, and you usually look to society for ideas, and that's what society was literally the black character coming out of jail didn't seem so outrageous. Yeah, right, because that's what was happening. Captain America being a soldier, obviously that's what was so I don't blame the writers, but if they were to come up with a character like that today, I would blame them because you know better now, right?
Yeah,
you can do better. Your environment literally dictates the kind of person you are, so your race shouldn't really factor into your background. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this got deep for a little too long, man.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears a little bit.
Well, switching from one catastrophe to another, we could talk about Wonder Woman for 2 seconds.
Oh shit.
We'll give Wonder Woman. That was a good segue.
For actually 2 seconds, or are you going to do?
I'm just gonna say this. I won't go on a rant because everyone's said enough, but I'll say is this: for this movie. I'll say the 3 things I'm outraged about, and the only thing I liked.
Okay.
I absolutely hated how she all of a sudden had the powers to make invisible objects.
Yep.
And jets.
She probably saw someone do once, maybe.
But the thing is, that would have been really useful in the first movie, trying to espionage your way, to infiltrate bases would have been very useful.
Dude, don't even. Literally, the only thing that connects any of the movies is Steve Trevor. Everything else doesn't connect anything.
Well, that brings up my second point. I find it fucking hilarious that it's not her mom, it's not the Amazons, it's not knowing that she's partly from a god, but it's because a flyboy tells her how the wind feels that she knows how to fly.
You just have
ridiculous.
You just have to feel the wind.
Absolutely. And again, it would have saved his life in the first movie because she could have went into the ship, flew it, and jumped out and not died.
That's very true. Also, just to add on to that second point again, she learns how to fly in '84, but she forgets how to fly in 2018. That's
Not to mention the lasso can grab clouds and lightning bolts. That's new. That is not a previous thing.
Come
I'll
on,
allow
you're
that.
being unfair. Like, obviously, like Wonder Woman. You know what really hurts me as a fan of Wonder Woman, watching that movie and seeing them
Oh my God.
disrespect her legacy like that. Like,
Yo, why would they do that after the first movie you gave us?
yeah.
Okay, first of all, did you guys notice that every time she was fighting, you didn't really see her throw any punches or kicks? Like she was just using her lasso.
Yeah.
There was no violence, so it was like toned down like incredibly.
Yeah, it's like watching the Ninja Turtles. Remember when we
it
wwhat
was
kids?
bad.
The Ninja Turtles never actually punched nobody.
Yeah.
No, there was a mandate. They couldn't use their weapons after a while because kids started doing dumb shit in schoolyards.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's 2020. Wonder Woman is not made for the kids. I'm here to watch
That's
Wonder
what I'm
Woman.
saying.
Why are you showing me her take the lasso and spin someone around and push them? No, show me.
The last movie wasn't that long ago.
I say this once and I'll say it again. Y'all be playing around by giving these DC's movies like a chance. I gave this a chance.
No,
I watched this movie, but like, come on. I laughed at all the bad. That's all.
So-
yeah.
I didn't even notice it was bad
The
because
third, though.
this is gonna be silly. That's
The
all.
third is the genuine randomness of like someone asked me why is the movie bad, and I was like, I could sum it up in one word: random. Everything that happens in this movie.
Yep.
Steve Trevor possesses another body. We don't, off camera figures all that shit out, figures out where she's working, and then shows up at a party
I
that
didn't
you
even notice
an
that.
invitation to and looks like a fucking bum.
Okay, yo, I'll one up you.
I didn't even notice that because
I'll accept that randomness because most of the wishes people made were outrageous as fuck, like walls coming out of the ground, right? So I will accept the fact that he somehow figured all that stuff out and found her. But why did he have to come back in someone else's body and not just come back because everybody else's wish was ridiculous? He could have come back from the dead in his own body, and they wouldn't have to violate this dude the whole time.
Yo,
And
I
the
was
fact,
so
and the fact that she makes the guy at the end or shows light, it's like I don't know what type of Stockholm syndrome that shit is, but that's some type of shit.
Dude, the fact that, like Toby said, we always have this conversation and I always get mad because I am more than happy to watch a movie as long as it lives in the physics of the universe it creates. Why is it that you could make a wall out of thin air, but you couldn't bring Steve physically back? What is the difference? The matter you need for the Earth to randomly create a wall. You're telling me you couldn't figure out the matter needed to recreate a human body? Get the out of here with that. It makes
you know what's funny about when they were saying this is why it makes nothing make sense and why this movie is a 0. I'm so mad right now talking about this.
He just laughed.
We'll end it there because we're getting
So
all
mad.
mad.
Why? Oh my gosh. Hold on.
Oh,
You know what? Just tell me the thing you thought was good. I'm just gonna call myself.
I'll say this.
I thought was good.
The only thing I liked, I didn't say it was good. I correct my, or if I did, I'm correcting myself. The only thing I liked, I actually liked Cheetah in the film.
Yes.
He was in my opinion, the only saving grace out of
What did you
anything
like
in the
about
movie.
Cheetah?
Yeah.
I like Kristen Wiig's acting. I think she embodied the Barbara Minerva very well.
No, man, she was just a freaking duplicate of the Riddler, Jim Carrey. But anyway, go ahead.
The first part.
I don't find that she's a duplicate of the Riddler. I think that trope of the nerd turned cool person.
Yes.
But they're all gonna look like that. That's what it is. That's
Okay,
the
you
trope.
know what? Even more recent, Jamie Foxx. Thank you.
Yeah, no, but
it
that's
was
it. That's
bland, is what I'm saying. It was not believable.
Sure, but did she do a good job in the trope? Yes. I think she did a good job in the trope because
I can't fault her if the script is bad.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I think she did a good job. I think her acting was good.
Really trying to draw some water out of a potato here. You
that's
know?
what I'm saying. And out of the whole movie, the one thing, and I said that in my review because I did a review where I was just like, it's criminal how little you use this actress because she's the only good thing in your movie.
Yep.
Pine wasn't good. Godot wasn't good. Pedro Pascal was decent, but his motive as a villain.
I like him as an actor. I do not. That's
the thing.
Yeah,
This was a waste of talent.
Turn it off.
I'll agree with that. It was a waste of talent. Pedro Pascal is a good actor. I think he did the best he could with a bad version of Maxwell Lord, because this version of Maxwell Lord doesn't even make. It's like, what is happening?
Moving on.
How is he able to wish for infinite wishes? Isn't there usually like a safeguard against that?
There's always a safeguard against that. It's one movie where there wasn't a safeguard against that. Look what happened.
Yeah.
Shit gets out of control and the world's about to get destroyed. But one thing I didn't like about another thing
One thing I didn't like about everything.
I know, eh?
Cheetah, the one thing I didn't like about Cheetah, though, is that
The CGI was bad. Sorry.
she doesn't actually like. Oh, sorry. One thing I was confused is that he grants her an extra wish, but when he says that, he makes it sound like I'm going to wish it. Like
He did. He did.
Yeah, but that means that when
she keeps those
away his wish, she technically still has powers.
Yes, exactly.
She doesn't have her. She still has her original wish.
No, she has her second wish, not the first wish. The first wish she took back. That's why she.
No, she never said that.
Oh, wait a second.
It's
when he made that wish that she turned into the cat, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
So
so she has her original powers. Yeah,
has original powers.
that's what she has. Yeah.
Like that's the only takeaway. Like, if the next movie was her trying to get like her cheetah-ness back and made it only a cheetah movie,
But that's why it doesn't make sense. How will she get it back?
Through other means, just not through wishing through this.
This was
Yeah.
It's so bad. I know.
You know, one of the
I'm curious for Wonder Woman 96. Let's see what happens then.
One of the things I said when I did my solo review is at the end I explained Wonder Woman was trying to do a movie set in the 80s to really tap into the nostalgia. And then when I did a review of Cobra Kai, I said Cobra Kai does a better job of tapping into 80s nostalgia than Wonder Woman, and it's not even set in the 80s.
There's no 100%. There's no 80s reference.
Yeah, that's why like
they don't even dress like they're in the 80s.
Yeah,
there's no music from the 80s.
There was no reason to set it in the 80s. There wasn't. No. The only reason, you know why they set it in the 80s? So that they could play on the stereotypes of the 80s. That in the Middle East, that they're hungry for oil, and that there's the Russians are the biggest enemy. So that when the rockets start blowing up and start going off, dude, the fact that the missiles could pop out of nowhere, when the guy says there are hundreds of missiles showing up, but again, Steve Trevor's body couldn't just reappear, makes absolutely no sense. Matter could just create out of nothing, but for some reason, Steve could. Anyways,
you know what's funny is when they said that you pay for your wish, right? Like whenever you get your wish, you're giving up something. Yeah. I thought that's what they were giving up, was that they're taking over someone's life. And I thought it would be like the drama between like, oh, I want you back, but like we got to give this guy's life back. That guy was never taken into consideration at all.
No, they didn't care.
Not once.
She didn't give a shit about that guy.
And then she doesn't really lose her power. Okay, again,
lost her powers, but
she didn't lose it. Yeah. She slowly, gradually lost it and was able to use it until she wished herself back to normal.
Yeah.
Anyway. Whenever you have those movies where the superhero's power is taken away, Spider-Man 2, when Peter Parker was his powers because he was stressed and all these things, he lost his power for like 80% of the movie.
Why is it always
and you felt the fact that, oh man, like things are still like just as high as when he was Spider-Man in terms of like bad shit, but he has no powers to fight it now because he's struggling with it. Like you felt the struggle. There was no struggle here.
Why do they always do that in the second movie?
She was thrown around. Finally, someone.
You know why they do it in the second movie? Because in the first movie, you essentially create these characters and make them godlike. So you need to establish why. Like you need to make it look like they can come down to earth, so that it feels more relatable. Yeah, because the first movie they never encounter their weakness.
True, but I always feel like once you do that, you're also like starting at level 1 again. You know what I mean? So like,
that's the thing. They don't do that anymore.
You build up. Second one, you lose your powers. You learn how to work without them. Third one, you're kind of balanced, but you're not because you didn't level up from the one. You're just, I got my powers back, and here I am in the third movie.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty ridiculous. They don't do that as much today, which is why this movie feels so out of place.
It's funny that you say that though, because which movie is it that Tony has the virus in his body?
Second one.
The third one. Oh, it is the second.
Third?
Second one.
Yeah, the second one. Yeah.
Third one is Mandarin with him losing the armor and going to see the kids. So yeah.
So the second one, Tony gets depowered. Spider-Man, Wonder Woman. What are the other ones that Captain America? You know what though?
Winter Soldier. He wasn't on the run, but
he doesn't lose. Oh, he loses.
Lost shield.
He's backbone. Okay.
Yeah.
But you know what? You know what it was for Captain America? It's that he's on the run. You're right.
And he's now seen as a traitor of his country, and that's
Captain America. His weakness is not standing for America at that time. Okay, and you're right. They really do that trope on the second movie every time.
I agree with Mike's statement that if every hero is OP like Superman, which is why we don't like Superman as much around these ways.
Yeah, we don't.
There is no tension because we know he's always just going to be God and come back and kill everyone. I get that. But you don't always have to strip them of their powers to make a point of their weakness, right?
Yeah, give them a villain that is on par with them so that they're not OP anymore. Like if you gave me Superman versus Doomsday as a movie early on instead of doing Superman building up to Doomsday or Superman building up to Darkseid, give me Superman and Darkseid from jump. I don't need an origin story anymore. Give me Superman and Darkseid. Give me someone that can actually feel a Superman punch and survive and punch back as hard. Because this
you know what?
We need to do a Parasite story.
They actually did that. I was gonna say they didn't do it in Spider-Man Far From Home, but they did. They at the end revealing his identity.
Oh yeah,
boom, depowered in a way.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah. That's a huge situation because now he has.
But it's different. Then
Also, they did that in a way that he was in Europe and he couldn't really be Spider-Man. He had to be Night Monkey.
Yeah, true.
Reserved type outings and shit. So he couldn't just be free as Spider-Man doing whatever he did.
Yeah.
So, he was back in New York when the announcement was made, though.
What? No. But I mean, what Skinny's saying is the depowering of Spider-Man was more the fact that
earlier on.
In the movie, Spider-Man couldn't be Spider-Man because it's just like, okay, the only time Spider-Man shows up is when Spider-Man goes on the trip with these kids at that school, and then these same kids are in this place, and Spider-Man shows up there. Okay, Spider-Man has to be one of these kids.
One of us, yeah, exactly.
Like that.
At least they covered that. I bet you that's exactly how the logic in the writer's room.
That's our title. Spider-Man is one of them kids.
Good title. And
Cobra Kai season 3.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a quick summary as someone who watched the show in like 3 weeks and who was initially not against it, but was like hype train. Okay. First season. Dope. I love
the fact that you watched the whole thing. Yeah, it's dope.
Not the whole thing. We're at, this is a Danny pick. We're at episode 6 of season 3. I like where it's going. Johnny is a perfect embodiment of everything that is wrong and right with the world today. He needs to be sensible. He says all the wrong shit, but at the same time, he says some of the right shit. I like that. I don't like how they played Aisha like that. Like, I love her character.
Thank you.
3, where the fuck is Aisha? I don't get that.
I didn't want to spoil that for you, but yeah, I was upset too.
I also
they give an explanation, right?
Yeah, but
the karate fights at the school scared the parents, so she pulled her out and moved. Get the fuck out of here! What are you talking about?
Has anybody actually looked into it and see why?
Oh, they legit dropped her. They dropped her from the show. That was.
Oh, they just dropped her from the show.
Yeah, they because they wrote in Tori, and they were just like, "Oh, we don't have room for Aisha."
Dog. Okay, let's talk about Tori. I don't like Tori.
I don't like Tori either.
I don't know why she's there. I don't know why they're getting her to like. You're not. Yes, you're 17. You're not 17. Fuck out of here.
She has 17 million Instagram followers.
I don't give a fuck.
She's gonna bring viewers to the show. It's pure view.
She's a Disney kid. She's a former Disney kid.
Brian, it's like what they did with that homegirl on the Mutant Show.
Oh yeah,
you know the way they filmed her?
Yeah,
I don't like it. It's annoying.
Yeah, it's that thing where it's like you're a teenager, but you're an adult playing a teenager, so we're gonna sexualize you. But I mean, they do that even with teenagers, so we shouldn't be shocked. But I agree with you that like it's problematic when you do that all the time on these shows.
All the time.
They actually, I did notice though that they took out in season 2. Remember the bully that came back in season 3?
Yeah.
Tyler and the other guy, so it looks like. I mean, she might come back next season.
Like I like how they.
I don't think the characters leave the universe. You know,
that's what I like. I speak to that. I like how they interchange. I like how they do that. The callbacks are amazing.
Yeah.
Daniel-san pisses me off every day.
Yes.
He has his.
Yeah, I don't like Daniel-san.
Yeah.
He has ways of coming back, and you're like, oh, maybe you'll get it, and then he just fucks up again, and you're just like,
Big
I like that you said he fucks up again.
Oh,
he is the only one who has a hard time letting go of anything in the past.
It bothers me.
Yes.
Rubbing off on his daughter Sam, who I didn't like, but I do like, but I don't like.
She's nothing like her dad, though.
Nah, it's all day fuck Robbie Keane, though. All day fuck Robbie Keane.
Ooh, that's deep. That's deep. I actually don't agree with that one.
I don't play with. No,
I understand his motives, and I get what an angsty teenager would do, and that's exactly what an angsty teenager whose both parents are pretty much abandoned would do. He would just play by his own rules.
Yeah, that's my thing. I agree with Tobi on that.
Season 1, season 2, yeah, but season 3, it's like, bro, you did that. Just chill. Like, you need to.
Yeah, you did pretty much almost kill someone, Robbie. Like you got.
There's no more boo-hoo, my dad doesn't love me now. I have a bad haircut and I feel like I'm in the 90s.
Yeah. I agree with you on the season 3. Robbie should be more remorseful and should, regardless of the girlfriend getting back with or anyone flirting with, like he should have nothing to say anymore but be remorseful. Right. Like, yo, bro, I'm so sorry I almost fucking killed you. Like, date her, bro, date her. You know? Like,
yo, I like the fact that he sees them but you know what it was though? Wait, how far are you in? 6 episodes?
Exactly. 6. You can't spoil nothing.
Okay, because I feel like did you see the conversation between Robbie and Tori?
No.
Okay. Cool. So I won't say anything.
Where is Robbie now at this point that you're at? Actually, that's a better
Robbie just attacked the damn Jerry Curl black kid, who I really hope they don't pick him up for season 4 and have him join any kind of school because I don't
he attacked. Oh,
in the prison. I don't want to join the show. Like, I don't like his face. I don't like him. I don't like him.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about that.
Man, that's episode 6.
I just don't like it. I don't like him.
Episode 6. That's where we're at. That's exactly where I'm at.
I know where you're at. I can't talk further than that.
I was gonna say so much.
I already kind of
quick little tidbits, real quick. Yo, like fucking Mrs. LaRusso is she just needs.
She's the most
Karen woman I've ever seen on television. I know.
No, she's the most like us. She's a viewer.
Yeah. Wait, are you saying she's a Karen, Mrs. LaRusso?
Mrs. LaRusso, she's coming out late. Let's go to the police. Like, just shush, go away.
No, man. Yo, you'll come to realize. You'll come to realize.
Yeah. Okay. So my thing. One of the things that I say when I'm watching TV with my partner all the time,
for the character that's our point of view or our perspective.
Yo, she is there to mess with shit at the end of the day.
But also the fact that like sometimes you do just need to go to the cops. Like she's not wrong. There's a man there's a man telling groups of kids to attack people. Go to the police. I'm not saying I like the police. I'm saying I understand going to law enforcement when children.
Isn't that what you normally would do? Is the voice of reason? She's literally like that's why I said she's us. She's literally like us watching the show, and she's put into this world, and she's like, guys, not everything needs to be solved with karate.
Yeah,
like some things require.
Some
things require the police and authorities to be involved. This is a cult, guys. This is bad. This is real bad.
Not everything requires karate.
Up into that studio, slapping a dude. First of all, I had to freeze frame on that bad position of that slap because at some point she does this horrible like this, and then the next frame she's all like cocked up like and you're like, no, you do that. Stop.
Oh, man. No, she also like teases out situations, like calls them out for what they are and what they're doing. Daniel and Johnny in situations, and when that other I can't say that.
Can't do that. She might grow on me, but I don't know.
I was gonna say we can't tell you more because anyway, keep going.
Hawk is my Hawk. I liked at first, don't like now. Dimitri always pisses me off. I hate Dimitri.
Oh, that's deep. Why don't you like Hawk?
Why don't I like Hawk?
Yeah.
I don't like Hawk. And
I love Hawk.
I
don't. You want to know why I like Hawk so much? Cool. Here's the thing. Here's the reason why I like Hawk. All right. I know when you first start watching the show, that's why it's crazy that people are here with Hawk. And that's why I like him so much. He's probably the character who's grown the most on the show, in a way. Because he started out as this punk ass bullied kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Never had the light of day in front of anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Finally, Johnny gave him the courage to find himself. He finds himself,
And
but
himself
sometimes
is dead.
absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Sure.
So this is the hero's journey, and Hawk is on the hero's journey.
Boy,
But
when
you know-
You always see him. Every
But you know
scenes
what,
of him like feeling regret or
Yeah.
looking remorseful or knowing that the fact that he knows that what he's doing is wrong is different. Tori doesn't give a fuck about what
Yeah.
she's doing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. My issue with that is I don't need Johnny's story shown to me through another character. We already
We're
know.
seeing LaRusso story through the Miguel.
Yeah, but I mean, do we like?
Yeah, that
I
was
don't
what it
find
was.
that's the same story.
Miguel was LaRusso's story. It wasn't. It was never Robbie.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Poor
Okay. That's
kid.
fair. Yeah.
The whole finding a sensei. The sensei giving like. It was all. I forget his name. Is Miguel. Yeah.
So you have Miguel. So Miguel is your Daniel, and you
Yeah.
have Hawk
Ro-
as your Johnny.
I actually wanted to give that to Robbie before, Robbie being a Johnny, but Robbie's thing is being so forced
Yeah.
that I'm almost forced to give it to Hawk.
Yeah. But that's the thing with Hawk. I feel like maybe it's me. Maybe it's the fact that because Johnny is the star of the show, Karate Kid is the original movies, and I get that. And Daniel-san is the star of those movies. Johnny is the star of this show. I don't feel like I need a Johnny avatar in the kids. That's why I think it is. Because I like if you're saying that Miguel, if you're saying Miguel is the avatar for Daniel-san, it's Johnny visiting his history through this kid, and that's cool.
Yeah,
But
they're
with
parallels. They're parallels.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily saying they're an avatar for, but I'm saying like the things they've gone through, it's in parallel to those two characters, but it's not necessarily like their shadow.
I just don't like. I agree with. I don't like Hawk. I'm tired of him. And I've seen the whole season, so I know what his story goes, and I still don't like him.
I like the story. I see where Hawk is going. I feel
He's
like
a better fighter out of every kid that fights in the show. His look more believable.
I don't.
True.
You know that bully, the Asian dude, what you named him before. He's beating that ass. You know that's coming for him.
Kyler.
Yeah. He's gonna.
You think Kyler's gonna beat up Hawk?
He's gonna whoop Hawk. What? I feel like he's going to. I feel like he has to.
I mean, I can't even tell you if they face each other.
Or Hawk's going to jail, and I don't even need to. Moving on.
Hawk's going to jail.
Fuck that shit. Or Hawk's going to jail because he's too crazy.
I was gonna make a bad. Anyways,
Black dude on Miyagi though, like the two black characters that are in Cobra Kai, the dude with the cornrows hasn't said a word yet in 3 seasons.
That's funny.
What's fucked up? You don't have a sentence to say, okay? And then the big black dude on Miyagi, so he should be way powerful than he is. Like you can't be getting your shit kicked in by ass face. Like what's happening here?
Well, you just got muted for some reason, like you were swearing. I didn't hear a word you said the last like 2 seconds. Did anybody else get cut out?
Yeah,
you did. Okay. It just cut out while you were talking, like you were swearing for a Bruce.
I probably was swearing. I was saying the bigger guy on Miyagi though, who's the brother with the curly hair. He was in that movie with
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. He should be way more powerful than they're perpetuating him to be. Like this is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel almost like that.
You're
like
gonna
LaRusso's daughter.
LaRusso's
daughter, let's be real, is good athletic looking and doesn't look like she can kick any ass. Like,
funny enough, she's actually I think one of the only black belts. She's an actual black belt. That's why
I hear that. I hear that. But she's probably a black belt like 5 years ago. Like she was.
You can still kick our asses, but that doesn't matter because it's 5 years ago.
Wow.
Even Miguel's martial arts skills don't really look that great, right? But anyway, that's not the whole point of the show. You're not supposed to believe they can like literally do all those things, but
True.
It's the story and the writing that makes the show.
TV, right?
Little nitpick with Reese. Why does he say ites? What the fuck is ites? That's annoying.
It's just a
his pronunciation. I get it, but Johnny's is a little bit more, but his pronunciation, ites, I don't want to hear that from you.
No, I love Johnny's. Quit!
Yeah, Johnny's.
I love
that's it. I'm done.
Lupin, hit us. We got 5 minutes.
I don't even want to really dive deep too much. Dive deep.
Dive deep.
What?
I understand. I didn't watch it yet. So if you want to hold off till
it's
next week, I'm down to discuss it more.
fantastic. Yeah, I don't want to get too in depth, but I was gonna suggest you guys watch it. It is incredible. If you've ever watched Hustle, you ever see Hustle? This British heist sort of show.
I haven't, but I want to. Is it good? Hustle is good.
That.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Mickey Stone, that character is incredible. But I think that character is based on this Arsène Lupin books.
Probably.
Obviously, same as the French version of the on Netflix. Omar Sy kills the role. So believable. The story behind it, his reasoning for doing and becoming who he is, and what he does in the show.
He's playing the grandson, right? Arsène Lupin the third. It's not the like original.
That's not even his name.
Oh, for real?
All right. Yeah. So the movie, the show is set, and this is not a spoiler. The show is set in our world. So he's just a kid whose dad used to work for a rich guy. The rich guy blames the dad for stealing something. But before the rich guy did that, the dad, the rich guy's wife was really friendly with the dad, and like they were friends. So she gave him a book. She said, "Take this book and give it to your son as a present." The book is an Arsène Lupin book.
Oh shit! Okay, so he's not even blood.
No, so the dad was going to give the kid the book for his birthday, but just before that could happen, the dad was arrested for and blamed for stealing these diamonds from the rich guy's house because he was cleaning the office. He got framed pretty much. It's really believable the way it's told. It's not like this overblown. It's like, whoa, like this kid now is alone. His mom's dead. He's just immigrated from Senegal. The dad, that was the only way he was being provided for. So now he's all alone, living by himself. And this is the only thing he has left of his dad. And it's this book. And this book is pretty much about a thief, a gentleman thief who like could get out of any situation. Was always like, he's super smart, always aware, could blend in, could be anyone, always goes by different identities. Almost every single one of his fake identities is an anagram of his name. So like he mixes up the letter. It's pretty cool. And like, just this book teaches him how to look out for himself pretty much is what it comes out to be. And then the cops, it's so good. It's really, I like that really
spin because I originally thought he was supposed to be playing the grandson of the original Arsène Lupin, because there is the Arsène Lupin the third anime, which is based on Arsène Lupin the Gentleman Thief.
Lupin the third.
It's not based on that at all. This is another original take on it. And
dope.
I couldn't stop watching. I watched the whole thing in one sitting. It's really well told.
Okay.
But it reminded me of that British show Hustle, which I'm also going to suggest. And there's 8 seasons of that. So if you could find it, watch it.
Dope. Guys, we're going to get to it right now. Geek news and rumors. To end off the show, we got first off a rumor. Dr. Doom to debut in Black Panther 2. I don't know how people feel about that.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, it's a rumor. At this point, no one has confirmed. It's just been kind of floating around.
I would have preferred
Namor?
No, I was going to say I would have preferred it, but then I'm like...
Without Black Panther?
Exactly. Without T'Challa.
Without T'Challa, to be honest, don't want to see any other leaders, like country leaders, like Namor's Atlantis, Victor Von Doom's Latvia. Like, I don't want to see these guys without T'Challa. It makes no sense. Why are they beefing without the leader? Because that's the thing, right?
Well, we're vulnerable now, right? So they might just be wanting to come take over.
But Black Panther's not even going to be in the movie. We know they're not recasting. So you're going to have Doom try and get into Wakanda without Black Panther showing up and kicking his ass? How are you going to
wait? No. They say they're not recasting T'Challa, but Black Panther will be Black Panther too.
He said we're not recasting Black Panther.
Yeah.
Black Panther is not going to be in Black Panther 2. T'Challa, Black Panther are not in the movie.
So what? Wait, what? I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
that's why I was talking about this whole theory in our chat.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna do the thing with the Shuri becoming the Black Panther.
We don't know that.
They might. They might do that. I'm just saying T'Challa's Black Panther won't be there.
Well, yeah, okay, but there will be a Black Panther.
But it doesn't make sense for her to face off against Doom or Namor.
Yeah, T'Challa's not dead. So are you gonna hand over the mantle of Black Panther without having a scene of T'Challa doing it, and then just have Shuri be the new Black Panther in the movie?
Yeah.
And in that case, where's T'Challa? Like, I feel like you could.
I think he deserves more than an off-screen.
Yeah.
death, right?
No, but that's kind of the only lane they can go while still honoring him.
No, it's not. Because they can introduce this in Spider-Man. They can literally introduce this somehow in Spider-Man. I don't know how, but if you're going to play with the multiverse, you can figure out a way to bring back a version of the Black Panther. And like I said, Killmonger would have been a great one.
Also,
Fine.
I'll
How
say
you gonna get rid of T'Challa?
how you gonna what?
Get rid of T'Challa.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think T'Challa needs to be killed off. I think, and I also don't think he needs to be replaced in this movie. I think that's the problem. I think a lot of people are seeing it as, because I see a lot in the like all my blurred groups and stuff. Black Panther, they're dishonoring Black Panther. We only got one movie with the Black King, blah blah blah. It's like, guys, out of honor for T'Challa, let's just take a moment, take a beat, let's do another movie, and then we'll possibly recast in the future. But for this movie, we shouldn't recast him.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Don't recast him in this movie.
You can set it up at the end of this or some. That's what I was saying. Like set it up in another movie or something. I'm interested
also,
to see what.
Quick shout out to Team Collective. I got my Black Panther fitted.
Nice.
Glow in the dark eyes, by the way, which pretty cool. I that freaked me out the first time because when I walked into the dark room and I like looked in the mirror and I'm like, what the? And then I realized, oh, it's my cat. Anyways, but
to respond to Michael real quick. Yes, I watched that show. Yes, it was called and it was really good.
Yeah,
really good show.
Miles Morales' Clone Wars saga. I think it's stupid. I don't know about you guys. The original.
Why are you going back to the well?
Who's writing the story? Who's writing it?
I don't know. I don't know who's writing it yet. But even though No. This is the comic book. Miles Morales is going to get a Clone Wars saga in the comic book.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, for a lot of people, they do care. Why are we rewriting history? Like, why are you retelling another story? Yeah, it's dumb. It's I don't understand why they're doing it.
Already went through. I get it. There's a parallel in their boat, but no, you got to differentiate somehow.
Just because they have parallels that allow him to become the new Spider-Man doesn't mean they have to go through the same exact threats.
His clone's going to be called Ken Wiley or something.
Ken Wiley. Oh my God. Imagine. That would be so sad. Bruce Timm thinks Batman Beyond is ready, made for a live action movie. I think that's pretty. I think we all agree.
What does ready-made mean in this context? I didn't read it.
Sorry, go ahead, Toby.
You have everything you need in the script for the show. Like that's it from beginning to end. You can tell the story.
Yeah. Bruce Timm also made it like canon that Batgirl slept with Batman. So shut up.
Oh, shit, you're still mad about that? Oh
my God. So many good things he's done, and that's the one thing you're focusing on.
The one thing, like it's the most perverse thing.
Yeah, in the comic,
Harley Quinn is definitely the most. Anyways,
perverse.
Martian Manhunter is in the Snyder cut. That general from the first Superman movie, Man of Steel, that Lois talks to is supposedly Martian Manhunter. Why? I don't know. I don't really understand.
Too late.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Lois isn't the only one who talks to him, right? He does talk to Superman in that movie.
Yeah. I know, in the prison cell or whatever. But like,
doesn't he also talk to me when he bumps in? Doesn't he bump into her and like that girl in the desert?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't understand the point. Like, if you weren't going to put Martian Manhunter in your original build of the team instead of Cyborg, you shouldn't have put him in the first place. He was the original member. You guys put Cyborg because Cyborg's a cool new black character. Martian Manhunter's a black character. Just let him be the black character. I don't know why everyone's out here trying to not make him be the black character. But anyways, whatever. Y'all scared of a black man / alien.
Y'all scared of
I don't know. I think that was an easy thing to put in and say that he was always there the whole time. It was very it was just landed. It doesn't make sense.
No,
within the landscape of things.
Yeah. It's lazy. That's the problem.
And he never filmed scenes being Martian Manhunter. Exactly. So to me, come on. You're going to tell me the Blacklist was that important that he couldn't miss it for a freaking DCU movie? Like, come on, man.
That's a comment in itself. The Blacklist.
Yeah, it's not a Marvel movie. It's a
still
DC
make a
movie.
DCEU movie.
Damn.
Netflix announced the cast for Sparrow Academy. The only thing I think is interesting is homeboy from Degrassi is in it, Jake Epstein.
Really?
The kid that played Craig on Degrassi is going to be in.
He was in what's it called? Designated Survivor. So here you go.
Oh,
I
I didn't watch that
I'll
show.
care about the casting when it comes out.
Okay.
Yeah, he was on Suits too.
Oh, that I didn't know. I'll say this before I say the last one. Morbius delays release to October 2021. It's to be expected.
There's those.
Is it going to be connected to the MCU? That has yet to be seen. Some people are saying yes. I don't know if they plan to. And then the last thing we have, Netflix announces their full film slate, promises one movie a week all year. And for those of you who don't know, the first movie, Outside the Wire with Anthony Mackie, drops this today. If you're listening to the podcast, and if you're listening and watching us live, it drops on Friday, January 15th.
It's with Damson and Idris, right?
Yeah, the other
Outside the Wire or something like that. It's called.
Wait,
yeah.
These stupid niggas trying to drop something the same week WandaVision drops? Are you dumb?
One a week, man.
They should have waited. I agree. I think they should have delayed it a week.
I you know what though? I'll say this: if you're gonna drop a movie on Netflix and you're gonna drop one episode of WandaVision, or maybe 3, if they're gonna do that,
2.
They're dropping 2.
2.
Dude, we have 48 hours in a weekend. We're gonna watch both.
Yeah, but
it's smart to do it because people are gonna be thinking about Anthony Mackie because of they're waiting to see Falcon. And then you have a movie starring him on Netflix, you're going to do it.
Yeah. All right. Deep chess move, but
although the last movie he was in for Netflix, I could have done without.
True. Altered Carbon?
Oh, yeah. Last TV show. I'm sorry, not movie. He was horrible in that.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good role for him, unfortunately.
Oof.
Yeah.
That was hard. That was hard because I liked the show and I was like, I'm going to kill it now.
I know. Like they canceled it. When they canceled it, I was just like, "Yep."
Yeah, I get it. I didn't even fight that one. I gave
it. Usually, I'm like, "Oh, come on!" I saw the cancellation. I was like, "That makes sense." Okay, yeah.
I'll give Mackie one. Every actor gets one pass. You know?
Yeah, there you go.
So somewhere out there, there's still someone's still mad that they canceled Limitless. I'm still mad they canceled Limitless. I'm mad. But there's someone at CBS like, man,
yes.
Like, why'd we do that?
Limitless was a good show. That was well written. Anyways, whatever.
We're not going to mention the Deadpool news.
Was Limitless the first non-comic book crossover show?
What did it cross over with?
No,
in the first episode.
Sorry to say. No. They've done movies to show.
They've done movie shows before.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Baywatch was a movie before a show.
I guess that's true. That's true. I just was thinking how big of a movie Limitless was, and then
like Blockbuster
first, you know.
And they did connect it well, like Bradley Cooper, and that's true.
He showed up.
That shit was fire.
Yo, yeah, he did. Does that? Who remembers? Who knows the connection between Limitless and the MCU?
Oh wait, hold up.
Come on, let's see if you got it. This is a nerd test. I'm gonna try and see if
I actually never saw this.
Hit me.
Is it in character or is it in story? Can you at least give that away?
Yeah.
Oh, it's an actor. It's not like a direct connection between like characters.
Well, Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, I was about to say.
He's not.
No, he didn't star in the show. He just appears. But I'm saying between Limitless, the series, and the move and the MCU, there's a specific actor.
The dude who plays the guy also plays Star-Lord, I think, in the cartoons. I'm gonna guess.
Oh shit! No, that's not it. Anyone else?
Shit. Am I close though?
I'm struggling right now to think.
I'll give it to you guys. Michael James Shaw, who plays Agent Mike.
Yeah,
is the what's his name in the Endgame and Infinity Wars? He's one of Thanos's Corvus Clave. He plays Corvus Clave.
Oh,
I'm gonna know that.
He's under all that CGI and makeup.
Shit.
Yeah, it's still a huge role. I know which actors played.
No, that's true. You're right. I did. He was. I can.
I mean, I
that's probably the deepest cut of them all. I'm bleeding from out
the shout outs to him, Michael Shaw, Michael James Shaw, Mike and Ike. Love those guys. I actually got to meet him once in Montreal because they filmed the series that he was on recently, Blood and Treasure, where he plays Aiden Shaw. Was filmed in Montreal, the first season for CBS. So he was, and they went to watch Mission Impossible, the last Mission Impossible, I think is where I bumped into him. It was funny because they actually went to watch Mission Impossible to see how they did their stunts. That's why they went to see it. They told me they're just like, we like seeing movies like this to understand how their stunts are shot and look. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. It gave me hope for Blood and Treasure because it's like, if you guys are going to do the research to watch one of the better films, you're probably going to put in some cool shit in the show, which they did. Guys, that's pretty much the whole show. Anything you guys want to say before we bounce?
Be safe.
Yeah, that's all we can say, man. And just try to keep boredom at bay as best you can.
And for you guys out there, mental health is something that it is okay to address. I think, especially in the Black community, we don't like to talk about mental health, but after 2020, your skin color has nothing to do with your mental health. You've been inside your home for a full year. You can talk to someone and not feel ashamed of that. Just a heads up. You should feel free to feel comfortable to. No one should shame you into feeling anything other than that. That's pretty much it, guys. That's the whole show. We'll be back with another one next week. This was a long one, but it was the first one of the year, so you knew it was going to be crazy. Guys, always a pleasure doing the show with you guys. That's it.
Happy 2021, and remember, 2020 hasn't won yet.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Who earned? Who earned?
oh, shit.